And welcome to the recap. NYWCites, I am the administrator of the NYWC message board, Robert Lottie. Psycho Circus 15 is in the history books, and what a milestone for NYWC to have now 15 Psycho Circus events, or so I'm thinking. The night began with a great video package, as almost every Psycho Circus event begins every year, with detailing the main event for the show. Then ring announcer Jason Linick is welcoming us to the show. Out comes Devil's Outlaw Stockade, and he takes the microphone and announces that Leo Kruger was too scared to get on an airplane and participate in the Psycho Circus match, and proceeded to run Kruger down and announced to the crowd that King Mega would take Kruger's place later in the show in the Psycho Circus matchup. Then we get on with the action as we kick off with the Joker's Wild Battle Royal, which was won by the Man of Steel, Mike Verna. Other participants in this one were Aiden Bale, Angelo Andrews, Alvin Alvarez, Ultimo Maya, the Benson Bros, the Fella Twins, Sammy Pickles, Devil Doll, Victoria Von Black. A few new students from fresh out of the academy didn't get their names. The Greek god Papa Don, who was the last one eliminated for Mike Verna to win the match. I forgot who else I recall in this battle royal. Then up next we saw Chainsaw Joe Gacy defeat Alex Reynolds to retain the CCW World Championship. And Jim Lundis, were you a little late ringing the bell in that matchup? Because the match was over and I didn't hear a bell till like maybe 10 seconds after Alex Reynolds tapped out. Then it was at that point, Jason Linick introduces Larry Legend, who had returned for quite, I don't know if it was first time since last year's Psycho Circus or maybe a little other times other than that. We had our next match, which saw the reunited Milk Chocolate, Brandon Watson, Randy Summers challenged Jesse Vane and Anthony Lacerra for the Tag Team Championship. And when all was said and done, Lacerra and Vane managed to defeat Milk Chocolate to retain the Tag Team Championship. And great to see Brandon Watts back in the ring after suffering a broken neck last spring. Up next, it was time for the Starlet Championship matchup as Willow Nightingale challenged Jay Red. During the matchup, Nightingale eventually went after Git, who tried interfering in the matchup. And as that happened, Sammy Pickles and Brittany Savage hit the ring, attacking Jay Red and doing a number on him. Eventually, Willow capitalized and hit a big powerbomb on Jay Red to regain the Starlet Championship, which she was never defeated for the second time. And for the second year in a row at Psycho Circus, she won the Starlet Championship. Our next matchup, we saw JT Kaysen and General Romero take on Maxwell Jacob Feinstein and Flawless Blake Morris. And we saw Morris and Feinstein get the win after Alex Reynolds interfered. And Reynolds took the microphone and declared that people need role models, and they declared themselves High Society, which was a faction Reynolds and Morris were part of in the past. And I guess this means Alex Reynolds will be around for a while, because after proclaiming themselves High Society, they played Reynolds' original entrance music, which I believe was performed by Celine Dion and Andrea Bocelli. Not sure the name of the song. And then up next we saw Tyler Murphy with Mr. A take on the Big O for the Fusion Championship, and that resulted in the Big O was victorious, regaining the Fusion Championship, which he never lost from as he defeated Tyler Murphy in a very good matchup. And at one point it looked like they were going to shake hands, but Murphy gave O the bird, and that's how it all ended. Surprised Mr. A did not end up in the Battle Royal, since he was there and just in the corner of Tyler Murphy. But at that moment, they went to intermission so the ring could be set up for the Psycho Circus match. Now, I have to say, kudos, not just kudos, but, that one structure with wood on the outside, barbed wire on the inside that was placed up against one side of the ropes. I mean, whoever's bright idea that was should be rewarded. Or if it was more than one person who came up with it, they should be rewarded. But it was on for the Psycho Circus match was to take place as we saw the Hounds of Hatred, Stockade, Boo and Bam Sullivan, and King Mega take on Bull, James, Mouse, Rex Lawless, and their mystery partner. The order of entry... Wait. I gotta stop right there. Before all the referees were in the ring, including new referee Sarah, and out comes Extreme Enforcer Mikey Whipwreck, and he tells all the referees, I'm the boss. And Whipwreck knocks down Dean, Steven, Lewis... I forgot the other male referee in there. And then he proceeds to give Sarah a whippersnapper. And all the referees were seemingly done for the night. And it was on to the Psycho Circus matchup. And in the matchup we saw... Well, here was the order of entry. Bam Sullivan, Bull James, King Mega, Rex Lawless, Stockade, Mouse... Boo Sullivan, and the mystery partner turned out to be Mr. ECW, the innovator of violence, Tommy Dreamer. Here was the order of elimination. Rex Lawless pinned Boo Sullivan after breaking a cinder block over his head. Bam Sullivan pinned Lawless after spearing or putting him into a barbed wire board. Dreamer pinned Bam after the Death Valley Driver. At one point, Dreamer had King Mega in the Tree of Woe, and Dreamer, I think, gave Stockade a DDT, but Devil Doll Victoria Von Black prevented the pin from happening. Dreamer grabbed a hold of Victoria. The fans were chanting pile driver, and Dreamer was basically obliged to the fans. And then at that point, eventually Stockade capitalized on that scenario, gave Dreamer a DDT, and eliminated him from the Psycho Circus match. When Mouse came out, he brought handcuffs and tried to handcuff Stockade, but eventually the Sullivans grabbed a hold of him, and they handcuffed him around the ring post out on the floor for most of the match. Eventually, well, actually, not just yet. Bull James pinned King Mega with a pedigree on the hood of a car hood, which was actually brought into the ring way before the match started. Eventually, I don't know if it was Mikey Whipwreck or Mouse had the key to the handcuffs in his pocket all that time. He got unhandcuffed, and then Mouse handcuffed Stockade, put the handcuffs on Stockade. Mouse takes off his gloves, and then he kicks Bull James in the groin. And I forgot what happened. I think Stockade gave Bull a DDT, and he kicked out of that. One thing I forgot to mention, before Bull put King away with the pedigree, Mikey Whipwreck threw fire at the King, much like he did back at Psycho Funkin' Circus in 2008. Stockade tells Mouse to bring cinder blocks into the ring, and they're set up, and Mouse and Whipwreck saying to Mouse, what the heck are you doing? And Mouse says, I forgot what Mouse said to him, but Mouse eventually jumps on Whipwreck's back, and Whipwreck throws him off. At that point, Stockade and Whipwreck are arguing with each other, and Stockade says, 12 years of this shit, and Whipwreck nails Stockade with a whippersnapper. And then Bull James gives Stockade a pedigree, and Whipwreck goes down to count, and before he counts to 3, he stops. Whipwreck leaves the ring, pulls out a small wooden board, places that on the cinder blocks in the ring, takes a bottle of lighter fluid and lets it on fire, and Bull gives Stockade a chokeslam on the fire with the cinder blocks, gets the 3 count, and Bull James becomes the new NYWC heavyweight champion, and officially Mouse survived the Psycho Circus match as well. Personal notes time. Great sitting with my favorite NYWCites, Jessica and Leanne. Great seeing Shane, John, Forge, Kyle. Glad you made the show, man. Joey, who was sitting right by us. Former NYWC manager Prince Charles was standing by Joey. And speaking of which, NYWC. I'd like to do a no punches pulled interview with Charles. I have no way to contact him though, because I really want to do a no punches pulled interviews again. And if anybody part of the roster or used to be part of the roster, let me know. I'd like to do one. Come on, I miss doing these interviews. Great seeing Charlie and his son Josh, who were sitting right by us. Great seeing James McGrady, Andrew Kratzner. Wonder where David Poppy was. Greg Gruber. Ashling, Ariana. Larry Legend. How could I forget you, man? Jim Lundis. One memorable quote of the night. Shut up, Wendy. Josh, referring to Stockade when he saw that he has red hair now. The fans really popped for when Tommy Dreamer's music started, and what a surprise he turned out to be. I wonder if there'll be any more surprises surprises like that, like NYWC used to do in the early days of the company. NYWC presents Aftermath on Saturday, March 25th. Already announced for that one, newly crowned NYWC champion Bull James defends the championship against the notorious 187 Homicide. Newly crowned Fusion champion, the Big O, defends his title against the son of the late British Bulldog Davy Boy Smith, Harry Smith, or he's also known as Davy Boy Smith Jr. Now here's some matches I'd like to see. I'd like to see newly crowned Starlet champion Willow Nightingale team up with Sammy Pickles and Brittany Savage to do battle with J Red, Git, and I don't know who his partner could turn out to be. I'd like to see Rex Lawless one-on-one with King Mega. I don't know if that's ever happened before, one-on-one with those two. I'd like to see Jesse Vane and Anthony Lacerra defend the tag team titles against former champions Boo and Bam Sullivan. There's probably a lot more I'd like to see, but we'll see how things go. And I really was hoping there would have been a karaoke at Twisted Shamrock at the after party, but they didn't have it. Oh, attention, NYWC staff, management. Would you like to have see a video of me talking about my history with NYWC over the years? Let me know, folks. I'm sure everybody would tune into it. Definitely another memorable night on Only NYWC Delivers. And this is probably one of the longest indies I've supported for so damn long. Just when I think I've seen it all out of the company, look out. And I gotta say, man, I sure hope maybe some of my cousins may come back in the future for shows. And NYWC rules.